Yes. 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 About time. About time. People had to wake up. About time. It's about time. The greatest player in the history of the NBA, all 100 years the NBA has been in existence. There has been only one player that has been the greatest basketball player in the history of this game. Only one. Out of the million of great players that have come across your television screens, there has been one, only one, that was the greatest player that have ever touched the basketball. Only one. And he's from Chicago, Illinois, West Side. 6 foot tall. Isaiah Lord Thomas III. There is no questions. There's no diggity. There is no doubt. He is by far the greatest basketball player to have ever played this game. There's no questions about it. Everybody talking about Michael Jordan. What did he do to Michael Jordan? He played Michael Jordan, didn't he? And what did he do to Michael Jordan? The greatest basketball player ever. Magic, Jordan, Bird. Isaiah Thomas has beaten them more times than they've beaten him. He is the greatest basketball player to breathe. This is the 100th year of the NBA. Is it? I'm thinking NFL. Well, in 60 some odd years, how many has been 60, 70 years? In the 70 years of the game. Isaiah Lord Thomas III is the greatest player to have ever played this game. There would be no Steph Currys if it wasn't for Isaiah Lord Thomas III. There will be no Klay Thompson. Do you see Steph and Klay was sitting right beside Joe and Zeke? There is a reason. Isaiah Lord Thomas III, without a question. I know you don't know about that. That's why I'm telling you. Isaiah Thomas is the greatest player to ever play in the league. Period. Well, I'll tell you right now, Magic should have 4 and Zeke should have 3. But we'll get into that a little later. You don't have to believe me. I'm not saying, hey, man, I need you to believe in this. Believe in me. No, it's facts. He's the greatest player to play the game. I watched it. I seen it with my own eyes. And I said, there's nobody better than him. Clearly. See, I don't let the commercials, I don't let promotion, I don't let Nike, I don't let the NBA tell me who's the best player in the league. I let my brain and I let my eyes and my ears and what I'm seeing and the actual game itself dictate to me who's the greatest player to play this game. I went it with the underdog, the guy that they didn't want to be there, the guy that was messing up their little party. Nobody wanted the Detroit Pistons legacy to live. They the guys that said, we're going to fight the league. And they won. And who was the captain? Who was the general? He said, y'all don't have to like us, but you going to respect us. You ain't going to erase us out of history. Oh, no. We going to show the world we matter. They took a city that nobody cared about, Detroit, and put it on its back and put it on top of the NBA like, oh, top that. You're going to put some respect on our name. We stood for something. And if the league don't want to back us, we ain't going to wear your jersey. We ain't going to promote your team. We're going to promote our own thing. Bad boys. Who did that? And who was the captain? The general. Who was the leader? Isaiah Lord Thomas III. And he's finally finna get his statue. The Pistons, y'all were slow moving with this. I don't care who fell out with who. A statue for Isaiah Lord Thomas III should have been made the day he retired. So now they're going to have it in downtown Detroit where people get to see the greatest player to have ever played this game get what he properly deserves. Who was Bill Laimbeer? Who was Joe Dumars? Who was Dennis Rodman? They were people that you didn't even know of. He had them to help them. You didn't even know them. Magic and Zeke were the two best point guards to ever play the game. Period. That's just the truth. What Magic could do instinctively, come on. We already know the Detroit Pistons was the greatest NBA team ever made, ever assembled. There's never been another one. We don't even need to talk about that. We already know that. We'll save that for another time. This is just about Zeke. 101, there's nobody ever. Do you hear me? Ever. It's not an opinion. These are facts. Name a team that was better than the Detroit Pistons did. Go ahead. What team was better than the Detroit Pistons? We had that 86 team whipped. So what else you got? Golden State Warriors? Okay, go back to sleep. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The 96 Bulls had 3 of the Detroit Pistons, bad boy Pistons on them. So that don't even count. Look, go. You can't even, no, put that out of there. No. Throw that to the side. Take that back to the store. There was no team better than the Detroit Pistons. No team better than the bad boy Pistons, boy. And there was no player that ever played this game greater than Isaiah Thomas. That is it. Isaiah Lord Thomas III was it. Why? Because he was smart. You see, I'm going to tell you one more time why he's better than Michael. I've explained this to you, but I guess some of you guys are delusional. And you need to have this thing because you've been brainwashed with the commercials. He's like me, like Mike. If I could be like Mike, I want to be like Mike. Right. You guys all caught into the Jordan. You guys, most of you weren't even born when Jordan was winning championship. But you guys got Michael Jordan on your brain, and that's cool. At least you ain't putting that bum from Akron in there. But now let's get to the gist. Let's get to the gist of it. Because I want people to be very clear on this. I'm going to explain to you one more time, in case you guys have not figured out yet, how Isaiah Thomas is better than Michael Jordan. Okay? So are you ready? Are you ready? You ready? I'm going to show you why he's better than Kobe. You can put Kobe, Jordan, Bird, Magic. Bird and Magic will be the guys that's in the conversation. But here's how. When Michael Jordan was in grammar school, what did he do with basketball? When Michael Jordan was in high school, he was cut from the basketball team. He had to come back his junior, senior year, and they won a little local title, right? Michael Jordan went to North Carolina. He won a national championship when he hit the shot, playing on an all-star team in North Carolina, in which he was basically a fourth option at best. And he had a game-winning shot for Dean Smith in North Carolina. Michael Jordan played 2 more years at North Carolina. They didn't win. They didn't win anything. They were eliminated. Michael Jordan then came to the Chicago Bulls. Tore up the league. Scoring machine, couldn't be stopped. His team was losing. And he kept trying to figure it out. Took Michael Jordan 7, 8 years trying to figure it out to get a team winning. Then you look at Isaiah Thomas, right? Isaiah Thomas, since he was in 6th grade, was defeating high school basketball players. And at that time, the best basketball players in the world came from the city of Chicago. In grammar school, he was one of the greatest basketball players in the playgrounds and on the court, on the basketball court, playing professionally, beating up guys who were juniors and seniors in high school and eighth grade. He went all the way to St. Joseph's, where he had to take 2 buses and 2 trains just to get to school in the morning. They won the state championship in basketball. They were the city basketball champions. The most outstanding player was Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. Isaiah Thomas went to Indiana. And in his first year, the team lost in the conference final. The next year, they go and win the national championship. On the cover of Sports Illustrated, there's one player cutting down the net and was voted the most outstanding player in the whole college tournament. His name was Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. With the second pick in the NBA draft, Mark Aguirre from Chicago went first to Dallas. The Detroit Pistons selected Isaiah Thomas at number 2. He was hoping he fell in the draft. The Bulls got him, but he went second in the NBA draft, higher than Michael Jordan, by the way, just to let you know. So, Isaiah Thomas, from the beginning of his career, did not need to learn too much of anything. He adapted to the game, but from day one when he touched the basketball, people knew he was ready for the NBA. Michael Jordan had to work, improve, evolve to figure the game out. Michael was scoring 35 and 40-point games, 50-point games, but he was killing himself. And the team was losing by 20, and he couldn't figure it out. What am I doing wrong? I don't get it. Then he started using this. And you know when Mike started using this? In the 90s. He came in the league in 1984. So he didn't start using this until the 90s. That's when he became the Jordan that everybody remember, when he had the fadeaway jump shots and Michael could score 35 points and barely break a sweat. So he was getting the same points that he was getting back when he was doing the high fly Jordan dunk days, doing all those crazy moves that you loved. He was doing all of those things, getting the same amount of points and taking a less amount of punishment. And was like, wow, he figured the game out. It took him a while, but he figured the game out. So it took him time to get, like 6-7 years, to get to where Isaiah Thomas already was. Isaiah Thomas could average 35 points a night. He could have been Allen Iverson. He was Allen Iverson. You couldn't stop him. But he knew, I can't win an NBA championship like this. I'm here to win championships, not scoring titles. I got to make the players around me better. The Pistons was a brand of misfits that nobody cared about. Nobody cared about Bill Laimbeer. Nobody cared about Buda Edwards. Nobody cared about Vinnie Johnson. Nobody cared about these guys. They were all dumped on the team. He made it work. If you didn't like him, he didn't care. But you was going to follow his lead. He was the general. And what he said, gold. He was a leader. So about time Michael Jordan realized after 3-4 years of getting his butt spanked by Isaiah Thomas and the Detroit Pistons, as Zeke owned him every year, getting spanked, and Zeke is laughing as they go into the NBA Finals. It's like, you ain't figured it out yet. And Michael's killing himself, and Michael's like, I got 47, and they beat us by 16. How? Because we made Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan will tell you, we made him. That's who. We made Michael Jordan. This team made Michael Jordan. Because he knew, I got to get tougher. I got to work. I got to get stronger. I got to get better. We made Michael Jordan get tougher. We made the team get tougher. We made the Bulls what they were. They respected us so much, they went back and got John Sally. They went and got John Buddha Edwards. They went back and got Dennis Rodman. When their run was over, and they couldn't win without Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman had the highest win percentage of any player in NBA history. You didn't know that, did you? Before the Spurs got Dennis Rodman, David Robinson got MVP. He was there 2 years. David Robinson had his best years ever with Dennis Rodman. They went to winning 60-some games. He scored 70-some points in a game, won a scoring title, won most valuable player over Shaq. It was Jordan's disrespect is the reason why they didn't want to shake their hands. But as a Piston fan, we loved it. We loved the fact that that happened. But nobody said it when Larry Bird didn't do it to the Detroit Pistons. Larry Bird and them just walked off the court. McHale was the only one that came on the court and said, hey, he was talking to Isaiah, hey, you do it. Don't be happy, just do it. Anyway, the greatest player in the history of the NBA is going to get his trophy this year, and it's well-deserved. Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III deserves his trophy. He deserves it, and 100%, and that's what needs to go down. Now, I just gave you a clear and concise reason why Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III is better than Michael Jordan, and he is better than Kobe Bryant. Now, let's take the Kareem thing, because Kareem is up there. And there's another player that's up there that you guys wouldn't know about, the Big O, Oscar Robertson, who I call the second greatest player in the history of this game. He's the guy that used to average triple doubles before they even started counting them. But he got them the real way. He was getting rebounds over big, gigantic 7-foot tall centers. They didn't even count these stats. So he had averaged a triple-double for like 5 years before they even start counting triple-doubles. Look, the Big O need a check. The league pays him a check. He gonna do what the company says do. I understand their position, but they know damn well like LeBron James ain't no best player in the league to ever play this game. You think I believe Isaiah Thomas when he sits there and say, well, LeBron James is the best player we ever had? Come on. You know what that is. I mean, I know what it is. It's like, man, get your check, Zeke. Get your check. I ain't even mad at you. He can't dribble. He has no moves. When Dennis Rodman said it, y'all thought Dennis Rodman was crazy, right? He sounded like Carcino, don't he? So let me guess. Dennis Rodman's a hater? When Dennis Rodman's like, I would have locked that guy down. He wouldn't have got nothing on Dennis Rodman. That's the truth. He couldn't dribble. He wouldn't have been able to dribble. With Dennis Rodman all over him, he wouldn't even got the ball. You saw what Kobe did to him in the All-Star game. How did I survive? When the Bulls won, I had about at least 40 to 50 people in the neighborhood come to my house. The very first time the Bulls won the championship, 1991. They were so mad at me because I was known. I was the Detroit Pistons fan. Every year they mad. Man, we could have had them. They cheated. I'm like, yeah, whatever y'all want to call it. Yeah, we would have won. They didn't cheat. You know, all the Bulls. They get away with cheating. All they do is cheat. And they get mad, walk off. I was like, why would they cheat for us? They love y'all. They get that joy in every call in the book, don't they? Y'all ain't good enough. And they would hate it. They would hate it so much. So when the Bulls won, the whole neighborhood was converging to come to my house. I snuck out the back door. And even my boy, he saw me at the last minute. He was coming across the street, ringing my bell, and I was slipping out the back door. My grandma was going to open up. He was, nah, you ain't getting away. We had to listen to this for years. You gonna hear us today. And once I broke out, I was gone running through the neighborhood. I was gone running through the neighborhood. And everybody saw it. They was like, that's him. That's the Piston guy. Come on, let's go. Because people were just outside celebrating. Yeah, we won. And then they was like, wait a minute, that's that Piston guy. Let's get him. So it was like the whole neighborhood was chasing. They wasn't going to catch me. Back then, I was lightning quick. I could run for days. And I'm laughing the whole time. They want to rub this in. And then I had a whole high school to go to. So luckily for us, we had Monday off. It was some type of holiday or something that went down. But anyway, it was, I think, Memorial Day or something like that. So we had Monday off. So it was a whole day to get ready for what was going to happen. I'm like, all right, here we go. Everybody's waiting to see me when I walk into the school. All these Bull fans. So I walked in there. Nobody said nothing. I got to my locker and somebody was like, there he is. And they came up to me and they ran up there. It was like about 10 of them. And the hall monitor security guy thought they was going to try to beat me up. So they rushed him. And was like, yo, whoa. He was like, no. So what's up? What happened to your Pistons? We swept y'all. Yeah, what happened to the Pistons? I'm like, the Bulls won. They was like, what? I'm like, yeah, they played a great game. 4 games in a row. That's impressive. I'm really impressed with what Scottie Pippen did. Go Bulls. Oh, my God. Did I blow their minds? The guy, they were so confused. They were so confused. They were so ready to go at me. They've been waiting for years to do this. And now they finally got their moment. And they was ready to lay into me and go to war with me and all this stuff. And I was like, yo, Rod, way to go, Bulls. They did a great job. Scottie really improved. You can't do that. He was so confused. You can't do that. You just can't root for the Bulls. Like, why not? They won. They played a great game. Did you see the 4 games? They swept them. That was great. Yeah, I saw it, but you ain't supposed to like that. I'm like, hey, I was rooting for the Pistons, but hey, they won. That was a good game. should improve. Man, they was back stuck in the same place I had them at for 3 years. Frustrated again. They got no joy out of the suite because I'm sitting there. They couldn't get their release. They were like, this, you can't do that. You can't just up and root for the. How you gonna root for the Bulls? That oh my God, I can't believe it. Y'all, man, you're the worst. I'm like, what are you mad at? They won. Oh man. Oh man, it was beautiful. Beautiful. Master thinker. See, when you're a master thinker, I was like, yeah, I know how to get him. But I knew the Bulls was a bunch of bums. The league wanted to put them there, or they wanted to get rid of the Piston thing. They was trying to clean up the league. They switched and got a big multi-million-dollar deal. It was business. The whole Bulls run was business. The Shaq Lakers business. Gotta understand this. It's a business. The bum from Akron, business. There's no way in the world. You got to look at this stick dribbler. Can't even dribble a basketball. Did you see him the other day trying to spin a basketball off his fingers? He can't even spin a basketball off his fingers. This guy looked like a complete doofus. So I'm very happy he got the award. Zeke. He's getting his trophy. Man, everybody. Oh, I guess the trash is going out because yesterday was Columbus Day. If you're a basketball fan, then you already understand. Cavs lose chips all the time, B. They'll be all right. He ain't lying. They lose chips all the time, B. People sending me messages right now. Yeah, people are wilding right now. I even got Laker fans out here. Man, what is everybody tripping for? I wake up to these many messages, believe me. This is just not even the tip of the iceberg to all the messages I'm going through right now. But as long as you guys know, that's why I want you guys to, undoubtedly know that Isaiah Lord Thomas is the greatest player of all time. But let's talk about Kareem and Big O. Now, if somebody said Oscar Robertson, I couldn't really battle that because that's hard. It's really hard. It really is. Now he wants to talk. Everybody wanted me to talk about this thing, man. I've already done it before. We're going to get into it. Don't worry. I'm being patient. There was a reason strategically why I put that on One Crack News about LeBron. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it. Thanks, Charles Brown. Don't forget, man, hit the Cash App up, man. Donate to the Cash App. I'm hitting y'all early this morning. People got to know that the greatest basketball player in the history of the game, well, of course he come from Chicago, but it's just what it is. Truth is truth. Look at all the facts, man. Proof is proof. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay, when he was dominating in the game, he was amazing, but he was 7 feet tall. It's hard for me to give a center that kind of domination when he played on great teams his entire career. When he was in Milwaukee, they weren't winning. He was great, but they weren't winning. When he was in UCLA, they won every year because they were dominating. But they were dominating even after he left. UCLA was still winning. They had Bill Walton. They were winning. So it's hard for me to give Kareem. I know Kareem is a bad bug. Don't get me wrong. Lou Alcindor was bad, but to say he was the greatest of all times is kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to say that. He had an amazing shot. He mastered the hook shot. It was unstoppable, but it was stoppable at times. He didn't win the championship, and he damn sure should have been at that free throw line because Laimbeer did not foul him. The referees ruined a great NBA moment when Isaiah Thomas, on one leg, lit up the Los Angeles Lakers and brought their championship home, and you robbed it of him. All because of the money you would have lost from the betting point spreads. All them people in Detroit who put all that money down on the Pistons to upset the Lakers. Your glamour party in LA, the big show, y'all thought the Lakers would dominate them. The Lakers was hanging on barely for their lives because they could not beat the Detroit Pistons. At no time was the Lakers better than us. That's why they got swept the next year. Magic Johnson quit because he knew. After that first game, the second game, he just pulled that hamstring and was like, I'm done. All right, Zeke, you got this one. Yeah, we done. Y'all was like, things like, well, Byron Scott didn't play. Who the hell is Byron Scott? Who the hell is Byron Scott? He was gonna lock down Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars was finna get what he got, MVP that series? Are you kidding me? You see, we had Adrian Dantley, and Adrian was a good low post scorer, but he was also a ball killer. He was like a black hole. You get a ball to him, it ain't coming back out. So you go to Adrian Dantley, that's entirely different than having Mark Aguirre. When Mark Aguirre out there, you got to guard Mark at the top of the key because Mark hit a 3 in your face in a minute. So it changed the dynamics of the game, and it allowed Joe Dumars to open up his game. He was ready. And then when you saw is that next year, Joe took it over. So Isaiah didn't have to do too much. He said, let me defer to Joe. I'm going to give it to Joe. Joe's hot. Let Joe roll. I love Doc, but Doc was not a better basketball player than Isaiah Thomas. No, he wasn't. And one thing I hate is what they do with Dr. J is they try to make him, because that's how they used to promote him, as a high-flying dunker. But Doc was in the ABA, man, it was highlight moves galore. You know, the NBA was just too stupid at the time to bring in the actual Dr. J and the rest of those guys. And when they finally integrated the teams to the ABA over to the NBA, you still saw flashes of greatness from Doc, but you didn't get the Doc that you got in the ABA Doc. ABA Doc could score. He could do all kind of things. He can go in the air, palm it one hand, move it around. ABA Doc was a monster. So Doc did never lose his ability to play, but they just made it seem like all he could do was dunk. And then he had that stigma on him. And that's why Jordan didn't really want to keep doing dunk contests a lot, because he's like, I don't want to be known as a player that's, you know, how they did Doc, you know, is like, oh, all he could do is dunk. And that wasn't true. Doc could shoot. Doc could score. You know, it's a lot of people out there that make, you know, they sessions about, oh, you got to check this out. Oh, you got to see this, such and such. He's such a great player. There was no player like Isaiah Lord Thomas III because he outthinks you. He beats you before they even get on the court. Do you know how the Pistons walk on the basketball court? You see how players come out today? They just run out. When they come out on the court, they just run out together. They come out to the court. When the Pistons walk out, we walked in a line, a straight line, like soldiers. Bill Laimbeer would normally be in the front. He's the general. He's the sergeant of arms. Isaiah Thomas is right next to him as the leader, the captain. The sergeant of arms to go first. Then it's the captain. Then it's the rest of his soldiers. They came out like soldiers, ready for war. It was mental. They had you defeated before they even came into place. You saw that walking, and the way they walked on the court, walked in there like, let's go. They form as like Voltron and walk out as a unit. That wasn't being done until then. It was mental. They wanted your whole building to feel fear and be scared. The Detroit Pistons, baby, mental basketball. They were the psychologist specialists. They will get in your head. They will find the weakest player on the court and break them. And if you break their unit, everything falls. And they got James Worthy. James Worthy and the Lakers. Could nobody get to James? James was incredible. He was MVP the last year. Big James was going off. Soon as soon as they put Rick Mahorn on James Worthy, man, James just cracked. Tired of Rick Mahorn. Man, you thinking we all weak? James is ready to punch him, and it was like, we got him. That's all we needed. He's cracked. He's cracked. He's cracked. Rodman, everybody. They were sending everybody at him. But Rick got in his head. Rick got all the, man, like, Rick was like, man, stop, man, you weak. Man, and he was just like, look, man, this dude thinking we all weak. Ain't nobody care about LeBron, man. False king, false prophet, false everything. Everything is false with him. There's only one, Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III, the greatest basketball player to ever live. Write it down, take a picture, do whatever you got to do. But as long as you know the greatest basketball player to ever play this game is Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. That's all you need to know. You see, being the greatest player of all times is not something you should call yourself. That's something others should call you. Something LeBron should have learned. But he's calling himself the king and the GOAT and all this stuff because he isn't. That lets you know right there. He isn't. See, the great players, they know what they are. They know what they belong. They know they real. They know that. So they don't have to validate themselves. You think Isaiah Thomas walk around like, yo, man, I was a bad boy back in the day? They know. Other NBA players that play in the league today, they know. They go on that show and they get to hear Isaiah Thomas talk about basketball on the NBA network, and they go, oh my God, this dude's incredible. He went from the basketball court to the front office, and as an owner of the Toronto Raptors, he drafted Damon Stoudemire when y'all wanted him to get Ed O'Bannon. Ed O'Bannon was a bust and out in like a half a year. And y'all booed. And Damon Stoudemire was Rookie of the Year and had that drop step, brought the drop step to the NBA. Come on. Man drafted Tracy McGrady. They had Carlos Rogers. They beat the 96 Bulls that year. What? Marcus Camby talking about Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. That's who was the general manager. That's who was the part owner of the team. That's the guy who bought the CBA. This is the guy who was the greatest basketball mind, Popovich. Man, pop that trick. Get out of here. You ain't no Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. Get out of here. Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III is the greatest basketball mind that has ever walked into that building. Bird is great. Bird is another one. I told you, Bird could be in that conversation. I rank Bird probably higher than I rank Kareem. Larry Bird, for the obstacles of what he had to do, because he wasn't that fast. he wasn't that athletic, but Larry Bird could play this game. That boy could play that game. And that boy was the biggest it talker there was. He torched Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan could not do anything with Larry Bird. Larry Bird tortured Michael Jordan every time he was matched up with Michael Jordan. You don't believe me? Somebody made a mashup YouTube video of it. So you guys probably don't remember because you just remember Michael Jordan dominating everybody. He ain't dominate Larry. You seen the one game when he go off and score that 60-some points and they went crazy? They lost. They lost. They love to show that game when he mixed Bird up. He pull up. He had a great game that day, but they lost. Yeah, they love to show you Bird dropped 60, Jordan dropped 63. Bird had like 40. But let me tell you something. Jordan could not guard Larry Bird. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to Michael Jordan's retirement speech. What does he say about Larry Bird? I'm very glad you retired early in my career. Because Bird, what you guys don't know, Bird is legitimately 6'9". Like, they ain't have to fake Larry's height. Larry was 6'9", wide body, and you can get the ball to Larry in the post. You couldn't stop him. You can't block his shot. Larry Bird turns around, he shoots like this, over his head. That was his shot. And it's going in. They nicknamed his shot the touch of death. Because it would just go up and just come down. And he would tell you about it. Larry Bird was so bored of scoring. He's like, this is too easy. I'm going to just play the third quarter. I'm just going to shoot with my left hand. And he did the whole third quarter shooting with his left hand. Still hitting. Larry Bird's a bad mother. Trust me, that game exists. You might can look it up on YouTube. I saw it. So I already know. I was, this dude said he gonna play the third quarter shoot with his left hand, and he did it. He's still killing these dudes. Oh God, it's over. Nobody's ever done that. So Isaiah played in the league where the league had the best players in the world. Larry Bird's shot was called the touch of death. Because it takes the air right out of the whole audience when he hits it. Nothing but net. That's what we were up against. Larry Bird wasn't a bad white boy. Larry Bird was bad. He was that mother. So everybody, man, he the baddest white boy to ever play this game. Larry Bird is one of the best players to ever play this game. And I ranked him over Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Solidified. Larry Bird. This ain't about what Zeke said. It's about what Zeke did. Zeke know he's number one. I know he's number one. But Zeke don't have to say that. You see what I'm saying? That's for somebody else to say. It's like, leave that to me, Zeke. I got it. I know you number one. I can say it. You can't. And that stupid LeBron, he got to, yeah, I'm the king. No, I think I'm the best. No, I think I got Mike. Okay. You idiot. That's why you think Jordan, them, and Kobe, they don't deal with LeBron. Mike don't hang with him. He's like, I don't hang with guys like that. yeah, let him stay in his own world. I'm cool over here. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, you the biggest businessman. Okay, yeah, well, when your shoe can outsell mine one time, then we'll have a conversation, son. But you the GOAT and you can't sell no damn shoes. Kevin Durant shoes is outselling you down there. Well, I haven't played in about 20 years, Sid, and my shoes are still outselling yours. And you better than me. Mike ain't gonna be hanging with no bum like that. LeBron building schools. Everybody kill me with that. LeBron, they'd be like, yeah, man, Michael Jordan versus LeBron, man. Who was better, man? Jordan can do this, Jordan can do that. What LeBron do? Oh, LeBron, man, he took some kids to school, man. You know, he drove them there and gave them some cookies. So when Jordan did that, I'd be like, I thought we was talking about basketball. Yeah, LeBron James, yeah, man. He went and got this cat out of the tree in his hometown, man. Yeah, see what I'm saying? LeBron do other things, man. That's why he the greatest player, man. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you people? People got to go grab some other craziness to try to come in there and, oh, well, Michael Jordan ain't do nothing for the city of Chicago. He ain't did nothing for the brothers. Not like LeBron. So LeBron better than Mike. I remember us saying basketball. Not about what they doing when they off the court. Jesus. Bill Russell's in my top 10. Even though the only thing that limits me for putting Bill Russell was up there, and it's not his fault, it's just there wasn't that many teams in the league. They had, what, about 8 teams at that time? So it wasn't a lot of teams. But for what he did to Wilt, I ranked him over Wilt. You know, Wilt had all these records, but Wilt was 7 feet tall. You know, I'm like, everybody else is like 6'10", and then here come a guy 6'10", 6'11", D'ing you up. Bill Russell, you know, it was like, hey, you ain't getting no chip here, boy. Let's go. But anyway, we took way too much time on this video. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get some other videos out for y'all. Don't forget, hit the Cash App up, support the page, or click the link in the description box and leave me a message at the super chat. You leave me a message today, we're going through them. Early, like later on in the day, I'm going through all the messages, the ones in the super chat in the description box. I'm hitting y'all up today. I'm out.